Now that the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus have been out in the world for a little while, we're going to take a look and see just how much people still love it, or if they're finding elements of it they wish were improved. It's time for Unboxed Daily. Welcome to Unboxed Daily. I'm your host, Jason, and yes, indeed, today we are taking yet another look at the Samsung Galaxy S9. Now, I know everybody's super excited to see this phone, and there's a lot of great stuff here, but we're going to unpack the parts of it that work and the parts that, when compared to other phones, maybe don't work so well. If you like what you see and you want to check out more, hit that subscribe button, and if you're feeling the extra love, hit the bell as well. So one of the first things to check out about the Samsung Galaxy S9 is just how people's general reactions are after using it for a couple of days. And here we've got Kevin the Tech Ninja, who's giving us his thoughts not only on the overall use, but specifically the screen and the screen resolution.
But as far as the screen, you're not going to find a better screen on any mobile device, period. Even if you compare it to the Razer at 120 Hz. Just the quality of the picture, the poppiness of the colors, and the deep blacks and the whites and the HDR is just a very, very good and vivid screen. And it's just makes it hard to go back to my current phone. Now, since we're talking about screen, let's actually talk about the speakers. That goes hand in hand with screen. Samsung finally threw in stereo speakers for their flagship phone.
I think it's interesting that Kevin compares the Samsung Galaxy S9 to the Razer phone. After all, Razer fans are, they're the biggest fans of the biggest fans. They love Razer phones. But the fact that he's talking about the screen quality comparative to the Razer and ranking the S9 above it certainly says something about the quality of the phone. Moving on from the screen for a moment, let's talk camera, because after all, one of the main things you get a Samsung phone for is the quality of the camera and its ability to shoot both video and photos. But what would you compare it against? What would be the phone you'd want to compare a Samsung? The iPhone X, of course. Here to give us his thoughts on the camera of the iPhone X versus the S9 is Austin Evans, who put them side by side for a head-to-head camera competition.
While most of the upgrades on the S9 have been fairly minor, the biggest one is definitely with the camera. The most obvious change is the addition of a telephoto camera on the Galaxy S9 Plus, nicely matching what you're able to get on the iPhone X. This isn't going to be on the standard Galaxy S9, but it's a solid addition. Not only is it going to be nice to get that extra focal length, but in my opinion, I think it actually looks a little bit sharper than what you're getting on that iPhone X. The real star of the show, though, is that new main camera, which is going to be shared with both the S9 and the S9 Plus.
Personally, I think it's a little bit less technical superiority versus personal taste when you look at these two phones and their cameras. After all, I look at both photos and videos and I think that they both do a really exceptional job. Still, you can see that on the S9, there are some parts of it that are a little bit sharper, which might mean it's a better camera. But we're not just comparing the camera in regular normal settings. After all, you want to see how this camera on the S9 at least performs in a variety of environments, including low light. Here to show us a variety of shots with both the front and back cameras in a variety of situations is Saf from Super Saf TV.
Again, I do think the S9 Plus was better overall. Images were brighter with less noise, and I do think that's thanks to the wider f1.7 aperture. Now, for front-facing camera video, I would have to give the edge to the S9 Plus. You've got better dynamic range overall. It's more stable, although it does crop in for that stabilization, so that is a compromise you have to make. Now, although images were actually very good on both, slight differences in color, which will come down to personal preference. In terms of dynamic range, I'd say it's a bit of a draw. Some of the images I prefer the dynamic range on the S9 Plus, and on some I prefer the iPhone X.
Color detail notwithstanding, I do think it's important to note which cameras have less noise. Noise being the best way to ruin a photo or a video, because you can't really fix that in post. More than anything else though, the thing you gotta know about a new phone is its battery capacity. And not just the specs, right? It doesn't matter how many milliamp hours it has. Really, how does it perform in real world situations? Putting the OnePlus 5T, the Mate 10 Pro, the Galaxy Note 8, the S9, and the iPhone X in a head-to-head battery competition is Mr. Who's the Boss.
And in this very specific charging scenario where the screen was turned on partway through, the time we got was 3 hours 45 on slow charge. And the S9 Plus was quite a bit faster than that with 2 hours 33. This was then beaten by the Note 8, again as you probably guessed, 2 hours 18, so not by that much, but enough for you to notice. The Huawei Mate 10 Pro did pretty well, 1 hour 42. And the winner of this test, to no one's surprise, was the OnePlus 5T with 1 hour 32.
Okay, apparently it doesn't win the battery competition. But to be fair, with all the other options and features you get out of the S9, and now that we've seen them head-to-head against something like the iPhone X, you know exactly what you're getting. And to be fair, even if it came in fourth amongst all those phones, that's still a pretty decent battery life for all the functionality you're getting. Last, but certainly not least, you know, the one thing you gotta know when you're buying a new phone, how does it handle real-world situations like, say, having your unprotected phone fall and crack, and how bad the damage might be? Well, not necessarily intentionally, Jonathan Morrison answered that question.
Maybe I'll find some peace tonight in the arms of the angel. Fly away from here, from this storm.
Rest in peace, S9. Rest in peace. And that's it for this look at the Galaxy S9 from Samsung. If you like what you saw and you want to check out other products we've taken a look at, head on over to Unboxed.tv or look us up on the iOS store. In the meantime, I'll be back here soon with more great videos from your favorite product reviewers and unboxers. I'm your host, Jason. Have a great day.